Relly coming at y'all live again. This time it's from no podcast. Shout out to the Golden Gemz podcast, though. It's from a booth.
Really the main thing.
These rhymes and these words been long overdue. It's been way overdue. But it's okay, though. I'm back now. I'm in a booth now.
Hey, I'm just playing. But SO to Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. I love Undisputed, so if y'all follow Skip Bayless, you will understand his pose. He says he can never lose anytime he wears J's before he go against Shannon. So, hey, can't lose, never lost, never lose in my J's, never. But seriously though, first episode of Sports Talk with Relly. Hey, Golden Gemz podcast, the only podcast where you can get exclusive everything. Exclusive interviews, exclusive footage, exclusive merchandise coming soon. And hey, just live your best life, just like me. SO to the 2020 Lakers. You know, LeBron, I never did think you would get a fourth ring, but you did. So congratulations to you. Hey, for that COVID championship, it still count, but it goes Kobe, MJ, LeBron, really MJ, Kobe, then LeBron. LeBron, you're always three to me, but I still love you. Kobe, rest in heaven, baby. And hey, you know I keep the Mamba drink on deck. That's all the Body Armor. They gonna sponsor me one day. One day, I'm speaking into existence. But anyway, baby, yeah, you here live. Golden Gemz podcast. Check out the rest of this episode, and we're gonna get into some sports talk, baby. Yes, boom, bang. I hope you enjoyed that little snippet in the beginning. I hope it was hilarious. Hey, SO to Skip Bayless, SO to Shannon Sharp, and Undisputed. I love watching that show. And yes, that was, I guess, the sponsor of this video. Me. Hey, never lost. Can't ever lose in the J's, man. Real talk, man. SO to y'all. That show is awesome. That's where I really be getting my gems for when I talk about sports, because honestly, they be stating straight facts. I watch a couple other sports shows. I used to also watch Stephen A. Smith. I still do from occasion, but hey, that boy is wild. I might go back and indulge, but I love the commentators. I love what they do. They bring great energy, and they also some great people behind the scenes. Just, you know, with the research I've done about them and also learning about their stories and shit, they work their ass off to get to where they're at. And that's what motivates me to actually, you know, do what I'm doing right now. Sports Talk with Relly on the Golden Gemz podcast. Sports Talk with Relly, the Golden Gemz podcast, the Golden Gemz podcast, the Golden Gemz podcast, baby. Thank y'all for tuning in. And yes, man, let's go ahead and get right into it. Hey, that boy John Morant, man, he's something else, dog. He is something else. 47 points, though. 47 points? Hey, it's crazy, man. The third youngest under 23 to do it. Hey, watch out, man. Watch out for that young man. He taking over. He's trying to really come for stuff. Steph and the Warriors, hey, I don't know if y'all can hold him off. I don't know. But we going to find out. But honestly, my pick for that series, though, like on a serious note, I'm going with the Warriors. At the end of the day, I know the Memphis, the Grizzlies, they are hungry. They are really ready to really go crazy, man. And as you can see with the first series, what they've done and what they did to Minnesota, I mean, like, they really stamped themselves, I feel like. And with their size and also with the rebounding and with those great players that they got, like, it's a tough matchup with the Warriors, but also the reason why I say I'm going with the Warriors is because of the experience, man. Really, you can never take away experience, and then also with the three-headed monster back with Steph, Clay, and Draymond back together and really running things again. I'm going to say they pull it through. Draymond ass, you got to stop getting ejected, man. I swear. Hey, it's crazy. And then, did y'all see when he stuck up the middle fingers to the crowd? I mean, with my opinion on that, I really don't see too much wrong with it. Obviously, you can't really do that to the fans. They pay their money to be there, show some respect. But then again, fans got to start showing some respect to these players. It's not a fucking zoo. It's excuse my French, it is not a zoo when you go to basketball games. You go to basketball games to enjoy it, cheer for your teams. But man, if somebody get hurt, you feel me, and get slapped in the face, regardless, even if he is, you know, Draymond, and you know, I guess because of reputation that you know he's getting into it and he's getting those calls really. And at the end of the day, if he goes down though, regardless if you like him or not, I just don't think it's a good thing to actually boo him or you know heckle him and things like that when he's walking off the floor. I think Kyrie, if I'm not mistaken, I did it twice now. I'm sorry, y'all, but if I'm not mistaken, Kyrie also he went through the same thing. And he was stuck his middle finger up, and he got fined pretty hefty for it. And I think Draymond's going to end up getting fined too. But I mean, that series is really going to be a great one. I think it's going to go to 6 games, maybe 7. I think the Warriors are going to pull it out, but it probably will likely go to 7 games because I think it's going to be a back and forth battle. But I think honestly, whichever team wins that, they're going to be coming out the West. Because my pick is really it's between Memphis and the Warriors right now. I really like also, you know, the Suns and the Mavericks. But at the end of the day, I really don't see them doing that much, honestly, in the West when they go against either, I want to say, the Warriors or Memphis. And, I mean, the Suns are playing good basketball because they do got Devin Booker back. We're going to see what they do with the Mavs tonight. Yes, I'm recording this on Wednesday, but I will be dropping it on Thursday because every Thursday we're going to do sports talk. So, in the future, though, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do it Wednesday and Thursday, and then every once in a while I might throw in a Friday episode on there for y'all as well, because I really want to get y'all to use sports talk. I love talking sports. I love really, you know, giving my gems on my sports, you feel me? And not just with the NBA, I watch the NFL, I watch baseball, I really watch them all. But right now with the NBA really being in primetime season with the playoffs, of course we got to talk about that. And then I also, in this video, give me a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and touch on the draft too, because it was actually, you know, a pretty interesting draft. You know, it wasn't too many, I want to say, big names as far as like quarterbacks this year, which is funny, but at the end of the day, it was a couple great quarterbacks taken, I feel like. And then also too, man, it's going to be real interesting to see like a lot of teams in, because really in the NFL, they've made a lot of great moves. I feel like in the offseason with certain players going to certain teams. And we're going to touch on that in a little bit. But back to the NBA. Yes. So I got Memphis versus the Warriors. I'm taking the Warriors. Then I got 76ers. They're playing the Heat. They're actually playing tonight. And I'm going to go with the Heat with this series. One, because, I mean, hey, Jimmy Buckets, you feel me? You know where he from. He from the shot, man. You know where he from. You know where he from. He from the shot. Well, nah, Jimmy Butler is actually, you know, from Texas and Dallas, I feel like. I think it's Dallas, but don't mistake it. I know he's from Texas, though. But with, you know, Wade, you know, he's from Chicago. That's what I kind of meant. And then also, as far as Jimmy Butler, he was raised out here in, my bad, y'all. I look like a goddamn net is trying to come in my podcast, man. Hey. I might have left the door open a little too long. I was bringing in groceries, but excuse that I have a little snippet, but hey, we're in real time right now, so hey, I'm not gonna edit this video either. So at the end of the day, you know, maybe I'm gonna catch this net, maybe I'm not, but I hope, you feel me, not too many more critters came in behind your little ass, boy, because I hate bugs, I hate flying things. But, you know, you got your spotlight, all right? You got your spotlight. Now, get the fuck out of my light, please. Anyway, hey, I'm not cutting this. So, I hope y'all enjoyed that little segment. SO to the net, that's in my house right now. I'm going to few up in a little bit. But, yeah, back to the 76ers and the Heat, man. At the end of the day, I'm taking the Heat because of Jimmy Buckets. You know he's from Chicago. Hey, you know who raised him in the league. You know who gave him that spotlight, you feel me? He ain't from Chicago, I keep on saying that, but he was raised there in the league, so you feel me. At the end of the day, we also talking about the Bucks and the Celtics too, you know, and I got the Bucks. I had to think about it for a little second, but yeah, I got the Bucks, because at the end of the day, yes,
the Celtics, they hungry, bro, with Marcus Smart, Morris, and then you got Tatum going crazy. This is a tough one, though. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Because in hindsight, I really see Boston getting over the hump finally, and Jason Tatum really, I feel like he gonna really turn it up a little bit more in this series. But Giannis, the best player in the world. Yes, he is the best player in the world right now. I'm sorry, LeBron, you got to hand the crown over. you got to. I'm sorry. But with Giannis, the best player in the world, I feel like he's still gonna pull it out. I feel like he gonna really silence a lot of people this series. Just with, if they still even question him, a two-time MVP, and then he got a ship now, you can't really question my man's. But if you still questioning him, I feel like, hey, he gonna go ahead and solidify himself within this series, and then also prove why he's the best player in the world and carry them to the finals, since they are my pick in the East. I really don't see, what was I about to say? I really don't see the 76ers of the Heat really challenging him that much. I mean, I will probably like to see maybe Miami versus, the Bucks again. But then again, you feel me, if that doesn't happen, it is what it is. I'm kind of interested to see how, I'm interested to see how the Bucks do in that series too versus Miami. But, I got the Bucks coming out the East. I got the Bucks coming out the East, and then I got the Warriors coming out the West, man. So that's enough of the NBA talk. You can see me kind of getting discombobulated a little bit because it's the West and the East. Hey, those always mix me up. I said mix me up. I'm not editing this. Mess me up ever since I was young. Yes, I'm having fun with y'all. I'm hungry as hell too. It's about that time, bro. Chow down. I got food in the oven baking right now. Can't wait to smash. I already got the sides cooked. Hey, y'all want me to cook on my podcast too? I can do a cooking podcast now too. Your boy is a chef out here. Chef Curry out here, man. Stirring with the pot, boy. Hey. Nah, but I'm really having fun though, man. Hey, I can cook though, for real. So if you want a meal, hey, hit me up. I might be able to do a little something. Hey, on Relly's TV. Hey, Relly's TV. I got y'all. Make sure you check that out below. I'll put the link down there. Go check out Relly's TV, man. Yeah, you ain't gonna be disappointed. I swear you won't. I'm doing yoga on there. I'm also doing a lot of just, show my life, man. And you see more of me there than anywhere. On Relly's TV, I'm literally giving you everything. So if y'all want more of me, you want to see more of just, my life, go ahead and check out Relly's TV. Link will be in the show notes, or you feel me down below in the description. But anyway, back to the sports talk, man. One more segment on the NBA real quick. I do want to tell y'all my pick between the Mavs and the Suns. For that series, I'm on dang near go with the Suns, because the Mavs, I feel like Luka is not, you feel me, a playoff guy type. You feel me? He putting up numbers, but I don't think he's that guy to really take them over the hump. I feel like he needs a co-companion. He really needs a second player, and they really don't got that on the Mavs right now. But I still see them doing damage. I feel like this series is going to go 6 games. I'm happy Devin Booker back from injury. Him and Chris Paul going to do their thing. Chris Paul, hey, 37, but still getting buckets out here. He is a walking bucket. I ain't going to lie to you. When money on the line, chips in the middle of the table, I got my money on Chris Paul, man. Point guard. I feel you. I see you out here, boy. And, hey, Chris from State Farm. Nah, but for real, hey, Chris Paul doing his thing, though. I'm not going to lie to you. But, hey, I'm taking the Suns in that series. And then with Devin Booker, they going to go crazy. And then I got Suns versus Warriors. I feel like the Warriors going to continue to go crazy. But they might have a little trouble when they play the Suns. I feel like that series, if I'm going to take a guess, that series is going to go 7 games. And then it's going to be interesting to see really that whole series. But I got the Warriors coming out the West. I got the Bucks coming out the East. That is my championship matchup for you. And then now we're going to talk about the NFL for a little bit. Hey. Did y'all watch the draft? I watched. I always watch the first and second round. But this time, for the past few years, I've actually been watching the whole thing just because I've known a lot of players going in the later rounds, and I've known, a few players also going, in the beginning of the round 2 last year. It's been real interesting. You feel me? Like for me being removed from sports, like it's a great thing to see. You feel me? Players I know do their thing in the league. Like players that I dang there. It's a few guys in the league that I even grew up with playing. I got my man on the Jaguars. Damn near he was jumping over motherfuckers when we in Pop Warner, like dead serious. And John, his name is James Robinson. I got Newsome, Chris. God dang. Why? Oh man, why did I just hit a brain fart? Nah, I got Greg Newsome though. On Cleveland, he doing his thing. I'm also seeing a couple of guys that I've known this year going to draft. Of course, my time at Arkansas, you know, Treylon Burks, he went in the first round. Then I had a guy go in the seventh round that I was actually in the DB room with me, Montrick Brown, and then AKA Buster. Then I seen my man Grant Morgan walk on from that went to Arkansas. He got picked up out of Jaguars as well. So you feel me? I got some guys out there in the league, and then SO to Brandon Dillon too. He playing on the Vikings. So hey, I got NFL guys that that I look up to because they are thriving in their own field, and they are kind of motivation to me to continue to get my grind on with doing my podcast and doing things like this. Because at the end of the day, I feel like, yes, I could have, potentially had a great opportunity to make it to the NFL, but at the end of the day, like, my heart just started to lead the game. And you feel me? When your heart not in something, you can really get hurt out there if you really plan it. And I was playing the game for real. And you feel me? After my injury, like, I had to battle back from that, and then going to Arkansas, it was great. That's my food right there. I'm gonna let it bake a little bit more in the oven. I like my ish crispy. But yeah, man, like my time at Arkansas, it kind of boosted my spirits because I'm like, yes, I fought back from my injury and I'm good now. And I didn't even really tell y'all about that, but yes, I had an injury when I was at Arkansas. When I was at my first school at Marion. And then I battled back from that, dislocated my shoulder, tore my labrum, battled back from that, and then got a chance to play at Arkansas. And then I played at Arkansas, then I eventually left on my own will. And, I tried to go to another school in Oklahoma, and y'all know that story. But at the end of the day, you feel me, like it's a blessing to just gotten as far as I did. And it's a blessing to see guys that I know who work their ass off. Guys that I played with in fucking Pop Warner, guys that I played with in high school, guys that I played with in college. Like on every single level, I'm able to now see them at the highest level that I ultimately, I dreamed of that shit when I was a kid. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't dream about that shit really. Cause like, I don't know, like it's a thing to where I just, fell in love with it. It's a hard subject for me still sometimes, man, and I just look at it and I'm like, I walked away. You feel me? And I'm walking away with my head high, and at the end of the day, everybody's not going to be an NFL player. Everybody has their own lane, has their own thing, and I feel like my calling is helping, the world and people in a different way. My guys calling, playing in the league, that's what they was meant to do. That's what God's plan was for them, and they follow God's plan. God has a different plan for me, and I'm going to make sure I see it through, and I'm going to make sure, I continue to go forward. But now I'm just rambling, talking about, sentimental shit. So let's go ahead, touch on the NFL draft, actually. Yes, it was crazy to see 5 defensive people from Georgia go, like, in the draft. Like, that is crazy. 5 defensive starters. I didn't say defensive starters the first time, but 5 defensive starters came from Georgia. And the SEC literally produces fucking NFL players left and right, out the wazoo, out the ass, and it's crazy. That's up to the SEC. They literally a breathing ground for y'all motherfuckers. And yes, like, me having a chance to actually practice and go crazy with the guys in the SEC, and you feel me, see guys in the NFL now, it's a blessing, man. Like, it's a blessing to kind of see guys that I grew up with playing, see guys that I look up to, and see guys that, continue to motivate me. And that Net just made another appearance. I'm going to F him up after this show. And hey, like, it's a blessing, man, to see guys, in the league do their thing, because I now know what it takes to get to that level. I've seen guys that I've known personally get to that level, and trust me, it takes a lot to really, persevere and get through all the ups and downs, get through all the battles. Because you have to have this mental right if you're gonna play in any sport. And I feel like the NFL, that's the ultimate gladiator sport, man. Like, it's for real, like a one of a kind sport. And I love the NFL. I cannot wait till it comes back on TV. I'll tell y'all my sports teams too. I am a Patriots fan, so don't come and forget y'all, if you're coming at me right now. Hey, I am from Chicago, but I am a Patriots fan. I don't know how that works. I don't know how to work for real. But it's because of Tom Brady, SO to him. So I'm kind of a Tampa fan too on the low though, but I'm not though. I'm just a Tom Brady fan. But I'm really a Patriots and a Bears fan. I still, Mac Jones doing his thing. I still like Justin Fields in Chicago, and I like Tom Brady. I love my quarterbacks for real, for real. I wanted to be a quarterback growing up. I was a quarterback growing up. But you feel me, your boy plays safety. So you see how that turned out. So I lived through my guys that's playing quarterback, and especially for my teams, man. I love Tom Brady. He's one of my favorite athletes. You feel me? He's an athlete for real, for real. He's one of the GOATs. He's one of the greatest of all time. Kobe is my ultimate favorite athlete. It's him. Of course, Muhammad Ali is in there just because of his activism and what he's done for us. If you know your history, you definitely would have to know about him. And I'll tell y'all about him for real in a later segment when I tell y'all, like, I'm going to do like a whole spiel about the greatest athletes that I love and the great athletes of our time and our generation, and then also the further behind, I said the further behind, the old generations as well. Because at the end of the day, it's a great thing, man, to really see these guys who kind of, like, say if you don't have a father figure, like I came from a single mother. I looked up to players and like movie stars and things like that on TV because I'm like, dang, like, you feel me, just as Pops ain't at home, trust me, like, I'm still grateful to have one. But you look up to these people and these celebrities and these athletes because they are the ones that you kind of, have aspirations to be. I'm not saying that, trust me, like, it's a lot of people out here whose mothers are the heroes. My mom is my hero, and whose fathers are the heroes as well. But those are kind of my heroes too, like, as far as, you feel me, looking up to them. I'm like, damn, that's what it takes. That's the hard work. That's the grit. That's the perseverance. Because a lot of people, they don't really look at the story of how you got to the point that you got to. They just look at all the glory when you get it. And that's the thing. Like, people don't really understand, what it takes to really be a fucking great athlete or to really be a fucking great at something. Like, it takes a lot of fucking work, and it takes a lot of time and fucking pressure and, perseverance through it all. Like, you really have to be fucking in it, man, and you gotta grind for what you want. And that's the thing, like, with anything in life, and if you want to be successful, you have to grind, you have to get it, you have to fight for it. And yes, I'm going on a rant right now. We ain't even talking sports right now, but I'm giving out some gems, so make sure you stay close ear, man. Make sure you bring your ear close and you're listening. Nah, but for real, like, in life, you gotta grind for what you want. And looking up to those guys, like, they made me want to grind. They made me want to say, damn, like, I want to be like him, so what does he do? What can I do to kind of get on the same level as him? And then as I grew into a man, I'm like, okay, I want to be the best Darrell. I want to be the best Relly. You feel me? Don't tell nobody, my government. Don't tell your mama, your sister. Don't tell nobody. But nah, for real, I want to be the best Darrell. Like, I want to be the best version of me. I want to be the best Relly. I'm getting Sammy Sosa. I want to be better than fucking Kobe Bryant. I want to be better than those guys. Yes, I looked up to him, but I looked up to him as motivation. I looked up to him as an athlete because I'm like, of course I will never be better than him, but the motivation to say that, dang, like, they worked their ass off to get there. And the reason why I want to be better than them because I want to work my ass off the same way. You feel me? To get to that ultimate goal. And that's why even in life, like, even though I'm removed from sports, I'm going to work my ass off to be the best podcaster in the world, to be the best version of myself, to be the best, whatever ventures that I'm in, I want to be the best in that, because that's what you should want to do. You should want to be the best at whatever you do. You should want to be better than your idols, than the great people that you look up to. That's kind of my motivation in life. Yes, I'll probably will never eclipse those levels, but at the end of the day, as long as I'm shooting for that fucking sky, as long as I'm shooting for that fucking mountain, and I'm fucking running up that shit without fucking looking back, and I'm not caring what's in front of me or what's gonna come up, the roadblocks, the fucking the roadblocks. Yeah. I was gonna think of an analogy, but it didn't come to me. But hey, I'm gonna cut this sports talk off because I started ranting about just life. But I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Sports Talk. Yes, I'm gonna put this in a separate playlist, and y'all gonna be able to separate it from my regular podcast, and then just Sports Talk, with Relly. So thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna cut this off now. We will be talking about more sports. I will be Dana. Might even bring out another episode tomorrow or later on this week, or you feel me? I might bust out 3-4 episodes for y'all next week, just because I love you and just because I love talking about sports. So hey, this is gonna be a major segment on the Golden Gems Podcast, the Golden Gems Podcast, the Golden Gems Podcast, baby. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you come back for more. Hey, guess what? We out.